Hello. Welcome to the Simply Together show today on the 9th of May. Time is running fast. We're in May now. Summer's going to be here, I think, soon, maybe. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Where my mum lives in Weymouth, there's Abbotsbury, which is the where the Swannery is, and they had their first chicks at the weekend hatch out. So officially, down there they say it's summer.
Okay. So when Cecile takes off her jumper and is in a t-shirt, that's when we say it's summer up here. So we have got two fabulous guests here today. We've got Soji and we've got Paul, and Shelley's going to talk to Paul in a little while, so I am going to talk to you, Soji. How are you doing?
I'm blessed. Woke up very tired this morning, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm very tired. I was out in London last night.
Oh.
I know. I think I went to bed about 4:15.
Oh.
And I was up at 7.
Oh.
So I'm tired. I'm
tired from Saturday. Saturday made me tired.
What was you doing on Saturday?
I don't do any. You know this. I don't do anything. I watch sports. I was watching UFC, and as it's shown in America, the main event or the fights won't happen until 5 a.m., 6 a.m. sometimes. And I fell asleep at 12, then woke up around 3 a.m. just to watch the 3 main fights, and just up.
And you're still tired.
Yep.
I know the feeling. So anyway, let's talk about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you doing at the moment? Who are you supporting? What kind of events you got going on? And then you can tell us about what you've come on here for.
I'm Soji. I'm a poet, photographer, youth worker. Just an all-round creative, I'll say. What have I got going on right now? What am I doing? I'm working with UK Youth, the Young Change Makers. Because I was the first. Me and my friend were the first people to be part of UK Youth Diana Award Young Change Makers, and now I'll be speaking to the next batch of Young Change Makers.
Yes.
Yeah, I spoke to one Young Change Maker on Sunday.
What was that like?
Young people are just amazing. That's what I have to say. Some young people are just amazing. The mindset, when you see mindsets, I know how I have to get to my next destination, and I know how I want to do it. Such a nice thing to do, because you don't get that at all. You don't see that.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So it's really good stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Really good stuff that you're doing. So obviously everybody is aware that we are in the midst of a economy crisis.
Yeah.
Everyone is suffering. The bills are going up, the food is going up, everything, mortgages, the whole lot, everything is all going up and up and up. And one of the reasons why you're on here is to talk about how that's affecting young people. Because I think I can honestly say I haven't necessarily thought about it affecting young people in the way that it's affecting mums and dads and adults and those kind of people, but it's got to be affecting young people as well. So tell us a little bit about what you've learned, what you've experienced, and
things are just I always say, it's just hard. Everything just goes like you said, everything's gone up in prices. I care more about, when I think about it, I'm like, what about the people that are younger than me? What's it going to be like for them?
Yeah.
Because I know some people who are 18 who have jobs or who don't have jobs, or just running around. People that don't have, I know friends that don't have jobs. I'm like, how are you surviving? That's one thing I have to ask my friends that don't work. I'm like, how do you survive this life? Because me, that I work and I live at home with my mum, but I'm trying to move out myself. Yeah. And I feel like I've chosen the wrong time. I feel like I've chosen the wrong time.
Yeah.
Because it's weird when I go into like the local corner shop. I'm like, things have gone up by a small amount, but that like 25p. I'm like, what? I'll go into shop like, oh, not this price anymore, this price. And if me being me, if I go into a shop, I'll go with the right amount because and it's just hard. I just worry for the next generation of young people that are coming up who are going to be like the 20s who want to move, who want to start buying stuff and doing stuff for themselves.
So those young people, do you know if they're going to food banks?
I have no idea. I've never. That's one thing I always forget about. I always forget about there's food banks, there's places to help. But now I can always word of mouth, so I can always tell the next young person I see or when I do work. Like, oh, you know, if you do need help, there are food banks. But there's certain young people who have this sense of pride, like, oh, I need to do it by myself. I have to do it by myself. I'm like, if the help is there, take the help. Always use my life and my health issues as an example.
Yeah.
I say I'm 27. I didn't know I could get all this help when I was in hospital. But now I'm out and I'm getting the help. It does make life easier. And there's the thing of, I always say to people that know me, or when I'm speaking to a young person on Sunday, I was like, there's two ways I could have dealt with my life. Just sat back and claim benefits, or actually put in work and try and make a change. Yeah, I chose the second one. I didn't just sit back and claim benefits. I'm trying to.
And was that an intention? Did you make that as in, your intention that I am not going to sit back and do that? I am going to make sure I continue on and I'm going to work.
Yeah, because I had to make that was the intention, because if I just sit back, I would go crazy. My mind, I'm really creative. I need to always go out on a walk. I need to make sure I always step outside my house, get in the Mother Nature, and just feel the wind on my skin, whatever. Because if I'm just sitting at home, I'll be very, very bored.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm living in a mansion where I have so many rooms to go into. It's only my bedroom, toilet, kitchen, and that's it. Because I don't even watch TV, so I have my laptop. I'm always just editing photos or working on a book or working on whatever I work on, writing poetry.
But there's a lot of young people that don't know what help is out there for them, I would presume.
Yeah.
And it's how we get that, get that information out to them so that they do know. So we've got young people who are at university who are only just about making ends meet with their loans anyway.
Yep.
Let alone all the food, which is then increased. How do we, what are they doing? Our Deez just put there, is there support at university, etc., for young people?
When I've been in the uni, I don't see any. Sometimes I'll see posts, but I'll see posts more from youth organisations, like, oh, there's this, there's that. But if I walk into the uni, I might see a poster here and there saying, oh, if you need help, to come here. But I don't know if the help actually works, because it's kind of like the NHS. The waiting list is just long. They have to wait.
Yeah.
Then by the time they need the help, it's like, oh, I'm just done now. Don't worry, I'll probably transfer it or I'll be back home. I've had friends that had to meet back home because they couldn't just be dealing with accommodation and buying food.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy out there at all. So I think, maybe that's an area that the government or local government, local groups could be looking at. We have a university within our town.
Yeah.
And do we need to see and check in on those students who have their loan hasn't got increased? Some of them are working as well, but can they afford to even eat? Because I know when my daughter was at university, it was expensive then, and that was 6 years ago. Everything's gone up now. It's so much more. 25p on one item. and then you've got another item to buy, and there's another 25p on that one.
Yeah.
And how can they then afford it?
I was literally having this conversation with my friend yesterday. We were saying when we go shopping, we're just adding up every aisle we go down now. I was like, okay, so
Wow.
this aisle was like, for rice, it's like £4 something. For eggs, I don't even eat eggs, but eggs are going, there's a shortage of eggs. It's like every aisle we go down, we're like adding up. Okay, by the time we get to the till, it's like £80. We're like, what? Just on a few items.
Yeah. And so we have got a website here, www.beds.ac.uk. So student support, finance, cost of living, hardship fund. That is really good. And we will share that. And obviously you go onto our pages as well, so you can then share that with people that you know. I find that interesting, surprising, and scary that young people are going down each aisle and adding up what they're buying, because I don't know. I don't think we were at that point before. We're at that point now.
Yeah, you can just pick up, and now you have to think, okay, this is this much. I've got bills to pay, so I need to make sure I set this aside in my savings. Our friends are going into their savings for whatever they want to either add on to rent or add on to shopping. And I'm just like, if I could help, I really wish I could. Like, there's certain friends I will help, but I'll chip in as well. Don't worry, just tap half, and I'll do the rest. Don't worry.
But you can only do that a few times, because
I
know.
And they understand that as well. That's the thing, they understand.
Yeah,
some friends that understand.
Because your nature is that you would help anybody.
Yeah,
but you can only help to some extent.
Yeah.
So yes, Dee Bailey, that does not surprise me that you count and check as you're going down the aisles. You need the extra funds for your plants and your flowers and everything else. Yes, she's become very green fingered, as our lovely Dee. Health checks on the young people. Is there a way where young people can work together to support one another better? Do you think they're doing that?
Yes and no. I feel like if the young people are helping each other, it's just friends. So that if you go to a Unicom, I reckon if it's your neighbour and you're friends with someone in your Unicom, you'll be like, oh yeah, let's go shopping. Okay, cool. Let's just help each other. Okay, split. I don't know, because I don't really talk to uni students like that anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon that's what I can see happening. Oh yeah, let's go shopping together. Okay.
And maybe that's what they need to be doing, is trying to work together so that there's, 2 or 3 of them buying the shopping and sharing.
Yeah, they're sharing together.
Yeah, rather than buying individually. But I suppose, does anybody who's watching, or anybody who watches on Catch Up, can you let me know, or let us know, if young people are using the food banks? Are you seeing young people use the food banks? If you're using a food bank and you've seen somebody young there, let us know, because it'd be really interesting to find out if they are, and how they're actually accessing that, because it is there for them to use, but I don't know whether they are. Don't know. Maybe university are sharing that information with them.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
But it's hard out there for everybody, isn't it?
Really hard, but yeah.
And you're finding with your friends that it is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and my friends just complain about this cost of. I don't even like saying this cost of living stuff, but it has to be said once in a while. I reckon once every week I have to at least mention it.
Because that's what it's all about. It's all about this cost of living. All about that. Everything is going that way.
My friend calls it surviving through life. He went on the surviving through life.
So Deez put, can any organisations post on here who give support so that we can share? So yes, again, anybody out there who's watching now, watching on catch up, let us know if your organisation or an organisation that you know is supporting anybody in any way, but also young people, because we'd like to know what is going on with them. Whether they are getting the support. But Soji, you're out there, you're always helping whoever you can, wherever you can. Which is absolutely brilliant.
Because I know struggle and pain is a real thing. So people know there's actually help they can get help. Hopefully they can do better for themselves and start helping other people as well.
So thanks for coming on. Don't leave us. Just stay where you are. Whilst Shelley talks to Paul, and if we get time, we'll get you back on. But yes, thank you for letting us know how difficult it is for young people.
Thank you for having me on and letting me speak.
Always.
Yes, everyone, the video is in the comments. Go and see what Soji's been up to with his video and all the other little bits and pieces that he's been doing.
More to come.
Oh, drop that in as I'm about to take it off.
A little teaser. Right, over to you, Shelley.
No, Paul.
Hi, Shelley. No, it is fascinating and thought-provoking to listen to Soji there. And there's the parent of two 20-year-olds, that are fortunately in work, but looking to spread their wings. It's not easy out there, and we are as my wife and I, we're kind of get to know many of their friends and and offer whatever kind of advice we can about jobs, about just basic living, relationships and everything else. It's they need all the help they can get, young people today, definitely.
Yeah, we've kind of got to that point of they're wanting to leave home, but they can't leave home. And I know that there's a new mortgage, funnily enough, out today that's trying to help those that are then they're getting stuck into sort of the rent to rent kind of thing, because they can't then get their deposit kind of thing. So kind of, but it's been going on for so long.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Paul,
okay,
tell us a little bit about yourself and what you
right. Well, I'm in the I guess I've always I've just turned 60, Shelley, and that was last month, and so I've had fortunate to have a lifetime in education. Former head teacher, physics teacher specifically. But I've always had a creative side to me. So even when I was at university, I was the social secretary of the student union. So they used to give me a kind of a budget, and if they said, look, if you can not lose all of that budget without making any, that will be good. So back in 1984, I had the budget to be able to put on a series of events for bands and discotheques, when we used to call them like that. Quite major artists in a refectory. And I don't play music. I don't play an instrument myself, apart from grade 3 violin. So I suppose the creative side of me has always been, putting together kind of programs, music events that people want to see. And when I was at Denby High School, about 15 years ago, we had a gospel choir in the school, and they wanted to put on an event with the kids, and so we kind of linked up with various other gospel choirs across the town. We had a house band, and we did an event at the Hat Factory in the basement there. And of course, when you've got choirs, if you've got 10 or 15, then you've got 20 or 30 proud mums and dads who want to see them. So it was no event now, but we was encouraged to do that. And so at the Hat Factory, we used the same house band, and we put on a local artist as support. But then we invited someone that was a really good backing vocalists with some national, international artists. So when you see them appearing at Wembley, or even the event that the coronation event that was a couple of days ago, the backing vocalists don't normally get to sing their songs. They're always supporting someone else. So we knew some of them and said, look, what about having your night when you sing your songs, whatever you want to sing, and you're the first on the poster, as opposed to being about third or fourth. And so we had a whole range of people, from Tony Monreal, Charlene Hector, and others. And they were really popular because the house band really enjoyed playing with someone who really expert. And the artist was prominent at the time, and the local artist really got a full audience because they were second on the bill to a sold out audience. So that worked really well. And so and then we came to COVID, and we had to kind of put on the events and everything else. But during the COVID, I was kind of passing the Wardown Park, for so long. You saw that bandstand there, the new bandstand.
Yeah,
and we're thinking,
why was made about it? Yeah.
Why does nothing ever happen on that lovely bandstand that cost £250,000? So I put a kind of a small grant, a bid in to Luton Council, and they kind of said, that'd be good. Here's a little bit of pocket money. See what you can do across the summer. And the events went really well. I mean, we were blessed because with any outdoor event, obviously, it's the weather highly weather dependent, But of course, last summer that was no problem, and so we had 5 events there, and that went really well. But afterwards, we then went into to look at to go back to the Bear Club, where I'd with colleagues put on an event there, and they had they closed for a few months, and then they opened again under new management. And so I kind of sat down with the new owners and said, look, I can see you play a lot of jazz and blues there. What about a little bit, some new audiences would love to come to the Bear Club with a slightly wider range of music. So they said, right, well, let's get together. And, I got together with Luton Urban Radio. I'm on the management team there, as also one of the DJs with my son, Niven. And so we got a couple of events coming up. One on the 18th of June with Michon Young. I'm going to try and get the flyer up.
I can do that.
Let's see if I can do that. Okay, can you see me now?
No, it's not doing it. Let me see if I can do it on my one.
All right. But we got Michon Young, who's a kind of independent soul artist from the United States. That's the one. And so she's coming with a 7-piece band. We've got our Lee Drummond, who's a local DJ and well known in music circles, and Fiona, Lady Impress from Luton Urban Radio. And we're just saying to be encouraging people to come out, just to show that there is an audience for a slightly different range of black music that we have.
Yes, especially at the Bear Club. I mean, some people will know about it. Other people won't know about it, and it could be just because, as it was before, it was very jazz, and it was very. They had a few comedy nights and things on there.
Yeah,
but to have the new management there, and it's tucked away in the town centre, not far from like the train station, and it is such a fantastic building on the inside. It can. For anything like this, I think it's perfect for it.
And we kind of joke about it being Luton's best kept secret, and but it's a bit like Doctor Who's TARDIS. You look from the outside, it looks like an old warehouse, but when you get in, especially when there's a few people in there, it's like having the artist in your front room. You can kind of reach out, touch them, and everything else. And the artists, all the artists that I've seen there and promoted there, they love it. They love the intimacy, and they love the feel, and the audience is right there with you. So but we're having to work hard, because promoting soul and black music outside of London is really hard, because you've got in London, you've got if you want to go to the Jazz Cafe anywhere in Camden, you've got 8 million people that is within kind of an hour with the underground. That's a little bit harder here in Luton. So, we've got to work a little bit harder. We've got to devote time, energy, and a bit of money. So Sunday night, I was I got out of bed at 1 a.m. My wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to do some flyering." She said, "You must be crazy." But then I got in the car, went to Stevenage, where there was a kind of a big kind of a soul party there, and I was handing out flyers until at 3 a.m. And all times I thought, well, what am I doing here? But people were really receptive. They took the flyers and said, "Oh, the Bear Club's open again, is it?" So yes, it is. And here's the event that we've got going there. So anyone, many of the people, I'm sure, that any enterprise or any kind of event where you're trying to make waves, you've got to be committed to it. Yeah, and any help that you can get from colleagues and such as yourself and Deez, that's great. We really appreciate the opportunity just to help each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's as Deez put down, it's a lovely intimate venue. It's not like you're going to the theatre, for instance, where you are then sat in rows of seats. To have this kind of thing here and to be able, because of a change of management or people coming out from COVID and lockdown, it's a great time to be able to have. I mean, it's not like it's completely different, like a jazz to a soul to it's all got that same basic network of tunes underneath it all. It's not
absolutely right.
Yeah, it's not completely out of the box.
And still begins. That's a great that's a great debate in itself. But it's like everything though. You've got to use it or you lose it. And so it's all right for people to say, "Great, we're right behind you," but a number of those people need to show up, to make it, because all of us, there's no grant behind this here. It's got to make sense from a pound, shillings, and pence perspective as well. So
it's always a scary thing. So I was just thinking that there's such a difference between what your job was before.
Yes.
And then to this, just by having just that one event, kind of spiraled all this now.
It does, but
completely different.
I guess what it does is that when you get to a certain age, you don't necessarily learn new skills. You just rediscover those hobbies and interests and events that you did when you were a teenager, right? So I'm keeping tropical fish. I'm going out cycling and fishing and this there, and I'm kind of putting on events. There is something inside of me that is satisfied when you got that opportunity to be creative.
Yeah.
And I would say that creativity, whatever skill or attribute we have, it shows, doesn't it, Shelley? It shows, in our friendship, the way we are at home, the way we are at work. There's no kind of strong dividing line between the Paul Hammond as a physics teacher or as a head teacher and the Paul Hammond that is, at the weekends, putting events on. So, I really hope, that the Michon is doing 6 dates in the UK, and we really hope that people will turn out on Thursday, the 18th of May. Okay, at the Bear Club. All of the details there can be found, and tickets will be sold on the website. And in June, we've got the local Pete Hunnigan band. Okay, they're playing there. That's kind of smaller in scale in terms of, the artists there are from Luton and not from Detroit, Michigan. But they're playing a reggae. First time reggae's ever been played at the Bear Club, a Lovers Rock night, and that's on the Thursday, the 15th of June as well. So
I'm just going to have to bring Cecilia in, because when you said that the first time, reggae, her head literally went like a dog. It was like, oh,
right. Only in the respect that it's not the first time, because Rhoda Dakar was there about 3-4 years ago, which is reggae /
ska kind of stuff. Yes, yeah.
So I already know about the one in June.
Right.
Already know about that one, because I was there a couple of weeks ago.
A particular Lovers Rock is popular, with everyone. So we're really hoping that that'll be great. And Pete Spina is very popular, but he's always kind of played supporting other artists. So it's quite right that him and his band should have prominence on the bill, as well as supporting others.
Definitely, because they are absolutely fabulous as a band. So to have them there, and I hope that is then going to entice other people from Luton to actually go.
Exactly.
Because they know the band.
We always, I'm fed up having to go to somewhere else. I don't really want to go down to London, pay 20, 30 pounds, to go down to see an event. We've got, we all know, don't get me started. We haven't got a major concert venue in Luton, and we've looked for that. We haven't had that for 60 years. And so, we can just start small and build up from there, and show that there's an appetite in Luton for live music, for live black music. And that's what we're, again, part of that campaign is what you're seeing in these two events at the Bear Club coming up in the next couple of months.
Brilliant.
So any of the dates and everything else, we're making sure that we put into our socials as well.
Lovely. Thank you.
So it then puts through on there. And then I'll also then be putting like some of the links and stuff into our newsletter as well. So
that's great.
So yes, it's
and what it is that we're just trying to to support the local cultural economy, if you like, but also when you've got good events locally, people are popping to the pub beforehand, and increasing the the reputation of Luton as a place to go to on a Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, because it's I was actually talking about at the weekend that for Luton to have a university, and it built up a university, it seemed to be the more that the university was built up, the less, even just like normal nightclubs, let alone some of these pubs and bits and pieces, they will just seem to close down. We haven't got a night life in Luton like we used to.
That's it. And if you remember at was it Liquid? The pub was called. The club was called, and whatever. If you just want to go out, let's have a look. A couple of things. If you just want to go out, and go out with your mates, meet at the pub beforehand, go out and have a dance on a Saturday night, and catch a cab home at 2 a.m. I honestly don't know where you go. Where you go now, for that.
I can't because the contents that I was using, it was more that we didn't have mobile phones, so you'd end up in town and you'd then think, oh, I could catch up with so and so because that DJ's on, or that band's playing, or whatever. So I know I can go to there, and that person will more likely be there.
Yeah, and the people say that, kids don't do that. They're just on their phones now. So, I'm sorry, that's not a youth. That's not a young person's nightlife. Just being on Insta, and if so we're trying to kind of do something about it. At least give people some options. Yeah. That if you want to see a good band, if you want to go out and hear some good music, then you don't have to go into town, into the capital city to experience that.
Brilliant. We need more of that up here. We really do.
Well, where'd you go? You end up Stevenage, you end up Milton Keynes, you end up London.
Yeah.
Even St Albans has got a few specific nights that they then have in certain places.
Yeah. And they've got a few actual venues, and they've got one or two pubs which actually, when you go through to them, are a music venue, like the Horn. So theirs is a music venue as well. Yeah. And you can go and see bands there. Whereas up here, we used to have a few. They used to do bands in the Student Union Bar. Obviously, we've got the Hat Factory, and then it's got smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yes. Yeah. But also we need to, the final thing really is just to say that the people, that do want to put on events, these are to some extent, today's entrepreneurs. they're coming up with creative ideas to match the to match the customers, and but there needs to be some support for people that want to put some time and energy and their own finances. It's like business support. This is really something that needs to be recognised as an entrepreneurial initiative, and some support and training courses put on, because otherwise this information just stays with people such as myself. They've done it for decades, but we need a new set of 20, 30 some things that are coming up that know how to the technical aspects and the experience of putting on such events.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we all know about events over here.
Yeah, I do. You do. You're absolutely right. And and it's that expertise that we're talking about the same business, aren't we? Advertising, use of social media, good old flyers, and everything. We have, if you like, a duty, to pass it on to the next generation, so it just doesn't kind of decline as we go on to other things.
Yeah, definitely. Well, talking of events, so we're going to make sure that we've got Paul's one that then goes on. What was the date in June? June 1 was.
It's the 15th of June. Yeah.
Okay. And then we've then got this one. Then is the May 18th, wasn't it?
18th. That's right. Yeah.
Yes, that was one during the week.
Yeah.
And then so we've got those two will then be on there. Is there plans for more, or are you going for this and then it's what's this?
Yeah. What the venue said was, they say, look, let's do 2 events. And then let's sit down and talk about it. We're not planning for 6 months running. Let's have a go. You've had one international artist, Soul. You've had you've had one local event with a popular guy. Let's let's get together and evaluate how it goes.
As Dee just said, then we'll get you on after the 2 events.
Happy to do that.
And then we'll see if we can then make sure.
See what we've learned. Yes, yeah.
Definitely.
To do
that.
Fantastic.
Well, if you stay there, Paul, because we're just going to round up a couple of the bits that we've got going on.
Sure. Excellent.
Our next biggest one, and if you've then got it will then be your next, the second event will be after our June event. We've got our Black Book case. So it's African Arts, Crafts, Books Festival, Sixth Form College. It's free tickets for anyone that's then coming along, but you do need to be booking those on Eventbrite before you come. Reason being, because we've actually got the Sixth Form College, and because you're then on site, you do need to be registered. We've got the free tickets, but you've also then got the option there, if you can make a donation. We would love a donation. We have got too much to think of. We've got 2 book launches. We've got a children's hour. We've got coming up to 60 other booksellers. So the authors themselves are book, and then sort of like book companies coming along, bookshops. We've then got artists and the fabric people. We've got the fashion show. And then we've got actual speakers as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's then going on. And of course, then the food vendors. We'll have a little food court. So we'll end up with the one vegan option and the one not vegan option normally. So yes, various different things going along, open to everyone, just to celebrate anything that's sort of any of these business entrepreneurs that have actually then got the African background. But as I said, it's open to everyone. If you've got the music going on, you've got everything else that's then going on, come along and join us. Even if it is that you just register free. You come in, you pick up the atmosphere, you pick up your food, and you go home.
I'll take my patty and run. Sounds great. Sounds really good. And again, what we're doing here is that you're giving prominence and you're providing a platform, for fantastic, creatives there. Yeah,
so it'd be good. And if we have some of your flyers and bits and pieces, or if you want to come along and give out some flyers on the day,
thank you.
We'd actually then love that. But as with everything, we've got all of our details all online. The bits and pieces come out on the email that's due then to come out. So my phone is just now about to start ringing. Cecilia, do you want to sort that out? Sorry.
They're buying the tickets already. They're not waiting.
See, and this just goes to show. So it's live. It is live, yes. And that's what happens when things are live. So we've got like Shelley said. So the Black Bookcase is the 3rd of June. It's at Luton Sixth Form College. It's 12 till 6. Get your tickets in advance, which are free, but get your tickets in advance because you're going to see so many different people there. I think one of the most important parts is the young authors. We've got young authors there under 14 who are writing their books. They are doing the drawings in their books. They are publishing their books. We're doing those things as adults. These are young children who have this flair and they're putting it down on paper, and they are publishing books, and it's just absolutely fantastic. It really is fantastic.
That's it. And that's not only good, from a creative sense, but also good for an academic sense as well. If you can writing, I know as a teacher that when writing has an audience, it provides motivation and the focus for what they're doing.
And we, that collective, are in that, have that space and platform to give them that promotion as well. As Dee said, we need to celebrate and support the youth. Positive messages. It's I don't think they share it enough. Obviously they've put their book together, their families know, maybe a few of their friends know, but I don't think they share it enough. And then we are hoping to get that out there so that people are aware of what young people are doing right now, and sharing that so their friends and that wider network within schools know that this is what they're doing. It's fantastic. It's going to be a fabulous event. Absolutely.
And on the Sixth Form College, just acting as a venue,
yes,
which is good in itself, or are they kind of actually promoting it and providing opportunities for their students as well?
I don't know the answer to that. I think the answer is they are just providing us with a venue.
Okay. So very community-minded as well, and but it's a lovely setting, isn't it? It's a lovely setting.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and hopefully, once they see, like Luton Sixth Form College see what we're doing, they will then try and get their young people involved in these things as well.
Indeed.
Hopefully give them that opportunity. But yes, this should make the media not all the negatives. It's all positive. All of it is positive. The whole event is about promoting Black authors.
Yes.
And getting that information out there. So it's going to be a really good event. So just get your tickets. And if you're just going to pop down, have a quick look, get your patty and leave, that is fine. That is fine.
Yes, sorry about that.
Okay.
So it came up and it was the doctor, and I thought, I better answer that one, am I?
It's life. It's life. That's what happens.
This is live. Yeah, it always happens.
So, have we got anything else that we need to share, or we saving that for next week?
I think that's the main thing. We did have to do a postponement of the health and wellbeing event, but all that's actually then gone out to everyone. Yes, so unfortunately, we're postponing the date on that one. So the next big thing, been the 3rd of June. So
and Thursday, it's Thursday. We've got Life in the Lockdown.
Oh yes,
Zoom.
sorry, yes, Life in the Lockdown Community Zoom.
Yes,
it's Thursday.
Life in the Lockdown Community Zoom on Thursday, 7 p.m. Go on to our Facebook page, register. Again, there isn't a cost, so register and come and join us. Well, I say come and join us. I'm not even going to be there. I'm going to be in Paris, so I'm going to try. I'm going to try and just join the Zoom just for a little bit and say hi from Gay Paris. Yes, but yeah, Shelley's going to be there. She's going to be holding the fort. Did you know that?
It's organised chaos. It's always organised chaos.
Always. So yes, we've got Community Zoom on Thursday, 7 p.m. Like I said, go onto our Facebook page, register, and you then just have it's just shared knowledge and time to spend with other people, and it's just that whole feel good factor anyway. So come along, and with all of our events, and obviously with the events that Paul's putting on, it's about sharing, share, and then support where you can.
Yeah, because you never know, isn't it? Sometimes it might not be for you; it might be for someone else. So
always,
the whole idea of sharing.
There's always somebody. So whatever it is that you share, there's always somebody who's going to see that, and it's then going to resonate with them. So it's really important to just share. And if you're thinking about, do I go to the Black Book case? Do I not? Just come down. You don't have to stay long. Just come down. I'm sure you'll be there longer than you think you would be. But yes, just come and see us. So thank you. Soji had to leave. So thanks to Soji. Thank you, Paul, for joining us today and sharing with us. And we will be back next Tuesday, as usual, 12 o'clock, with some more guests. And yeah, lovely to see you all. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.